the most important factor in an audience wanting to see the film is the star. Then it is your teaser trailer or your other content that you release. Everything else comes later. And this is a study which happened pre-COVID, okay? Post-COVID things again change. So the star is definitely a factor. And I'm not saying that non-star films cannot be marketed well. Then you need to have more thought into your marketing. Your marketing strategy, your creatives, everything should be so much well thought of. You can't, a star will help you get away with a lot of weaknesses in your marketing or with a lot of mistakes in your marketing. Whereas a non-star film, you will not have a chance. So, and it's all a lot of factors. It's budgets, it's artist dates. Somebody has but if somebody will say that an artist dates will come only after 2 years' time, so they will want to do it with a lesser star. So that's a risk calculated gamble they take. But yeah, nothing guarantees you eyeballs than a star or a established actor.
These days, content matters the most.
Content matters. So that is where now what I do, I'll tell you. Post-COVID, what the biggest change that has happened is when I listen to a script, even to pitch it to an actor or to a director or to pitch it to a producer for production, because we do project designing, I think about the marketability of this project, even without a star. Like if you think that there is no star possible in that, ഇതിനൊരു നല്ല ടീസർ ഉണ്ടാവും, ഇതിനൊരു നല്ല ട്രെയിലർ ഉണ്ടാവും, ഇതെങ്ങനെ ഓഡിയൻസിനെ അട്രാക്ട് ചെയ്യാനുള്ള ഒരു യോൺറയാണോ എന്ന് നമ്മൾ ചിന്തിക്കാൻ തുടങ്ങി. പണ്ട് കുറേ നല്ല സ്ക്രിപ്റ്റ് കേട്ട് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഇത് നല്ല സ്ക്രിപ്റ്റാണ്, നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യാമെന്ന് പറയുമായിരുന്നു നമ്മൾ ഇൻ പ്രീ കോവിഡ് ഡേയ്സ്. വെൻ യു ന്യൂ ദാറ്റ് even if the films don't take an opening, eventually audience will hear, word of mouth will happen and people will come. Now the chances of that happening has become very, very less. Even with word of mouth, people don't come in for certain kind of films. A lot of films had good word of mouth. Films which released in the last 1.5 months. But the numbers are so dismal. Like outsiders will think, oh, aa padam modiyallo. No, but we know the numbers, no. They are very, very, very dismal. So if those films had taken a initial, because if they had spent well in marketing, those films had taken an initial, the numbers would have been 3 times what they came now. So word of mouth also can only reach you this far. But in olden days, in the 90s and all, you heard about so many films which didn't have anybody in the theaters initially, and then it grew and became this huge monster. Those kind of scenarios have very rarely happened in post-COVID era. Very, very rare. Like Maligapuram, very, very few of them. Otherwise all films have taken a good initial and then went on to do well. So that is where the marketing the marketing of films have become very important, or the thought behind the marketing. This film is a good film, but can't do it now because I don't think even if it is if it's a critically acclaimed film, then even audience won't come in. It is proven to a large extent.
So, he's done 6 to 7 films. Interview he has given. So, and he interviews are mostly popular, they're all big hits. So, does these interviews mean they necessarily convert into footfalls in theatre, in the success?
At that frequency of an actor doing films, I don't think so. Because there's no charm. Okay. Honestly, interviews work if done with the right media, and there's something with regards to the film which goes out in those interviews. Many a time, 80% of the questions in these interviews have got nothing to do with the film. That is one key thing, and we are not able to control it in the Kerala context. In Bombay, I've seen these Bombay PR agencies work. They clearly have a mandate, and the media also follows that discipline.
It's not about the individual.
It is about. I think organized media in Kerala still follows that discipline to some extent, but we have so much of unorganized digital media also. So it just goes haywire. They are doing it for their own viewership. They have their sustenance there, but just because something somewhere worked, people also have started thinking that this is an inevitable thing for all films. So now, even though a lot of people feel that it is one evil, people think that it's a necessary evil. But I feel honestly, there is nothing called over marketing. Okay, I don't believe in that term because there is only marketing. But even I have used the film under marketing. I've known directors who like to undermarket all their films. So when you undermarket, it comes from a lack of confidence in a way, and also because you want the audience not to expect too much. Now it is okay if you don't have a competition on your weekend, it is fine. But if you have a weekend where there is competition, then if you have good films also, on that weekend, then your film will sink. It will not get that opening. It will be known as a good film and it will still do well. But how better it could have done if you had properly marketed it is something which you don't study, right? നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ ഒരു ടെസ്റ്റ് ഗ്രൂപ്പ് കൺട്രോൾ ഗ്രൂപ്പ് എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്ന പോലെ ഇൻ മാർക്കറ്റ് റിസർച്ച് വി ഡോണ്ട് ഗെറ്റ് ടു ഡു ഇറ്റ്, റൈറ്റ്? സോ in a lot of films that I have marketed also, I have had these differences of opinion with producers wherein I feel if he had put in a little bit more money in the later stages of the film, it could have done far more returns for that money. So if you put in an extra 10 lakhs and get 50 lakhs more theatrical share, it is worth it, right? It need not be necessarily that if you put 10 lakhs, you should get 1 crore. Whatever extra you will get is worth it. But, after some time when films start doing well, producers are happy. They really don't see the maximum that is possible and push it. Pettil paisa veerunnundu, so they just sit tight. So that is the thing. With a lot of films, the other way around, because they don't have the confidence, they don't spend what is to be spent also. See, if you look at it, typically, smaller films should have a higher percentage of production cost spent. Because they are the films which needs to get more visibility because there will be more smaller films, will be not big stars in it. But here what happens is the smaller the film is, the smaller your advertising budget is, which is not what it should be. A 25 crore film can have a 10% of marketing budget at 2.5 crore. A 15 crore film would need to have more than 10% of marketing budget to have at least a 2 crore marketing budget. മനസ്സിലായില്ല? അപ്പോൾ 15 crore ഫിലിമിൻ്റെ കുറച്ചും കൂടെ വേണം. നേരെ ഇപ്പോൾ ഒരു 5 crore ഫിലിമിന് ഷുഡ് ഹാവ് 20% മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് ബഡ്ജറ്റ് or at least a crore. അപ്പോഴേ അത് എവിടെയെങ്കിലും കാണുള്ളൂ. Whereas here what happens is it is linked to the share. If it's a 5 crore film, then people only spend 50,000. Then that 5 crore film will not get that visibility. That's what is happening with a lot of films that I told you in the post-COVID era, where it could have done better numbers if they had believed in the film and marketed it a bit more. Spent a bit more. When I say marketing, I mean thoughts and the spends, both. വെറുതെ കൊണ്ട് സ്പെൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഞാൻ ഇത്ര ഹോർഡിങ് വെച്ചു പറഞ്ഞിട്ടും കാര്യമില്ല. That is one classical misconception of Malayalam cinema. A lot of money goes into outdoor, which is only a reminder medium.
But outdoor is also important.
Outdoor is important, but outdoor is probably your last medium. It always was in advertising. It is like a reminder medium, which is called what we call in. Nobody decides to go to a film by seeing a outdoor or a hoarding. It only reminds them that a film is there. So your decision is always taken by your teaser, trailer, and those are things we ignore superbly. Lot of films. I am a great believer that the theatrical teaser and theatrical trailer is must, because that is where you get the biggest impact. അത് ഒരേ സിനിമ അത് മിസ്സാവും. First of all, when you release your teaser trailer 15 days back or a trailer 15 days back or 1 week back ഒക്കെ ആയി തുടങ്ങിയതിപ്പോൾ, then where you have the time to put it in theaters? ഒരാഴ്ചയിലും 15 ദിവസത്തിലും ഒരു കോമൺ പേഴ്സൺ ഡസൻ ഗോ ആൻഡ് വാച്ച് സിനിമ. നമ്മൾ കാണുമായിരിക്കും എല്ലാ ആഴ്ചയും സിനിമ because you're doing entertainment journalism, I am in the movie business. Whereas a normal audience person goes with his family and kids to watch a film maybe once a month. So at least if it is there in once, ഒരു മന്തെങ്കിലും ആ ട്രെയിലർ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നാലേ ഇതെല്ലാവരും കാണുള്ളൂ തിയേറ്ററിൽ. But we ignore it. The most cost effective medium and the most effective medium is what we miss out most times. And we chase a lot of other things which you actually don't have that much guarantee. And because your online audience, a lot of them don't go to the theaters. A lot of them watch films on OTT, a lot of them. So what is assured is the person who comes to the theaters, who has a habit of watching movie in theaters. You show him your teaser trailer first, no?
അതുപോലെ ഈ ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പർ ആഡ്സ് കൊടുക്കുന്നതിനെ കുറിച്ചിട്ട്
See, again, newspaper ads are relevant in a Kerala context because the readership is more. It is not like the other states in the country where people don't read newspapers anymore. എൻ്റെ വീട്ടിൽ എൻ്റെ ഒരു വൈഫിൻ്റെ കസിൻ അമേരിക്കയിൽ വന്നിട്ട് യു സ്റ്റിൽ റീഡ് ന്യൂസ് പേപ്പേഴ്സ് ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു ഷോക്കിൽ എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഐ റീഡ് 3-4 but he still read. That is a fact. No, most of the state still reads. Of course, what age segment reads, those and all are questionable. You know, satellite channels, advertisements. We have never, forget about now when the influence of satellite channels have reduced to some extent, or a different age group is watching it. Even in those early, 2015 Mumbai, like COVID Mumbai, before the OTT boom happened, very rarely have Malayalam cinema advertised on television. And അപ്പോഴൊക്കെ ബോംബെ നോക്കിയാൽ മതി. ബോംബെയിൽ 50% of your advertising, 40% of your advertising cost will go into television. Spots on television, on entertainment channels, on music channels. നമ്മളിവിടെ ആ മീഡിയത്തിലേക്കേ പോവില്ല. So that is how off target we were when it comes to, forget about thought, even the spend allocation. Only few producers used to understand that this is this and spend. And it's at times it is driven by the wrong reasons also. Adana in the comedy, because all these other media require advance payments. When it comes to outdoor, you'll get a lot of credit, you'll get paid when you want. And it gives you maximum ego satisfaction also. TV spot നമ്മൾ ഇരുന്ന് ആ ചാനൽ കണ്ടാലേ കാണാൻ കിട്ടുള്ളൂ. ഇത് എവിടെ പോകുമ്പോൾ നമുക്ക് കാണാം നമ്മുടെ സിനിമ, ഇറ്റ്സ് there. So it satisfies your ego. Whereas TV spot, radio spot and all, you can miss out. You don't know. So but the sad thing is, I've broken my head trying to tell people these things. They really don't understand. They will say, Malayalam cinema anganilla avare. Malayalam cinema word of mouth മാത്രമേ ഉള്ളൂ. ഇവിടെ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് ഒന്നുമില്ല. Big producers have told me, മലയാള സിനിമയിൽ മാർക്കറ്റിംഗ് ഒന്നുമില്ല, ഇവിടെ വേർഡ് ഓഫ് മൗത്ത്, സിനിമ നന്നായ ഓടും.
ഈ എക്സിസ്റ്റിംഗ് നോംസ് ബ്രേക്ക് ചെയ്യാൻ വലിയ പാടല്ലേ?
It is difficult. You require people like Prithvi who will understand what you are saying so that you can do this. He will understand. My biggest comfort, if I honestly, it's taking it a bit too, but if he's not there, I could have not done a lot of things, because he understands. He will see, if he has a difference of opinion, you will understand that. There will be logic in it.